Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to College Football Time with Avry and Miguel. We're not in Zoom today because, scheduling situation going on. But me and Avery, I'm going to say a little bit here about Colorado versus TCU. Avery, you're going to see them in the second half of this video. But man, Colorado versus TCU, Deion Sanders, new era in Colorado. He brought in a lot of players from the porter to come to this team. TCU will look a little different, but I still believe that TCU will come away with a victory against Colorado. A lot of predictions are saying that TCU are favorites by 20 to 25 points. But I'm not going to underestimate Colorado just yet, especially in week one. You don't want to underestimate in any team that Deion Sanders is in, whether he's a player or a coach, because his influence on any team is huge. So let's see how Colorado will respond to a tough team like TCU. I do pick TCU to win this game. I'll say they'll win by 10. I won't go as far as 20. I feel like Colorado could make it interesting in week one um to set the tone or make the presence be known that even though they could lose, they will not get dismantled. But anything can happen on any given Saturday. Anyone can be beaten. But I'll still take TCU to get this victory. And let's see what happens. They'll play tomorrow at 12 on Fox. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be tuning into this game. College football is here, baby, and I'm excited. Excited. So here's the part two of this Colorado versus TCU preview slash prediction. Avery, I'll let her take it from here, and she will provide you guys with her own thoughts on Colorado versus TCU. Can't wait.
This game is probably one of the most anticipated games of the season. After 9 months of extreme hype, Coach Deion Sanders is going to lead Colorado into Fort Worth, Texas to play TCU, who is ranked 17th. Interesting enough, Coach Sanders applied for the TCU position. However, it was eventually given to Coach Dukes. TCU is coming off a really great season. They want to prove that they are well relevant in the playoff contending spot in the Big 12. Even though they lost the Big 12 championship, they earned a spot in the playoff. They beat Michigan in a great game. However, the title game versus Georgia was not what anyone expected. And some of us just want to forget that game even happened. But this year, TCU wants to come out strong. They still want to prove that they belong in the college playoff picture. TCU has a lot to prove. They want to say, they want to prove they're not contenders. And this could be the start where that gets done. Chandler Morris is the starter. He was the backup for Max Duggan. He got hurt early last season, which got Max Duggan to play a very great season. He ended up being the runner-up for Heisman Trophy. But Chandler Morris, he's not taking any day for granted as the backup. At any point in time, he was ready when he was healthy. When Max Duggan got hurt, he ended up playing versus Baylor, where he had a fantastic game before being injured again. So Chandler Morris, a former Oklahoma transfer, he wants to prove that he belongs. Also, this game is being played in Fort Worth, Texas. Down here in Florida, heat is a big deal. And if you are playing a 3+ hour game out on the heat, it is going to be a factor. And because of that, let's go ahead and take a look at Colorado. Coach Deion Sanders got the job in December. This team went through a massive overhaul. When Coach Sanders got with his players, he made a point to mention the transfer portal and how players were coming in and players were coming out. Coach Sanders wants it to be known that if you're here, you want to be here, you want to be seen, you want to prove that you can play football. On the team, he has 87 new players and only three returning starters, but 25 starters overall. Uh, Back in April, they sold out their spring game. 50,000 people came to see their spring game on a cold and snowy day in April. Coach Sanders says this team is ready, and playing TCU can prove that they can do it. Shedeur Sanders, who is Coach Deion Sanders' son, he is a junior. He's 215 pounds. He came with his dad from Jackson State. And the 2 seasons he played at Jackson State, he threw for nearly 7,000 yards, had 70 touchdowns, and only 14 interceptions. So even this young man has a lot to prove, not just his dad. And Coach Sanders said that, speaking of his son at the quarterback position, he makes really good decisions, he protects the ball, and he knows what he needs to do in order to prove that he can play. Overall, I think this can be a really great game to start off the season for week 1. Colorado has a lot to prove, TCU has a lot to prove. Playing in Texas, I think, can be a factor against Colorado, with them normally playing at the Mile High elevation. They may not be used to the Texas heat. However, if you have some players that are from Texas, from Florida, from Alabama, they can be a good factor, especially when, reminding their teammates, hey, make sure you stay hydrated, make sure you don't cramp up. But I see this, even with all the hype, to be an early college game of the year. I know it's early, but I want to make that prediction right now. Even though TCU has a 91% chance right now, according to ESPN, I think Colorado's going to stick to it. Even though we expect that Colorado is going to go out of the gate fast, they could. I could see that happening. Get TCU off kilter, get them off the game plan, just be menaces to the TCU offense, menaces to the TCU defense. I would like this game to stay close. Even when you start off a season, you want to start off the season really well. You want to make sure you get these scores in. The over-under is 63. I could see this being a high-scoring game real fast, but Colorado, they don't want it to get it away for them. If they have everything in control, they are going to let things happen. And the same thing with TCU. You don't want to make a lot of mistakes. If you make mistakes, those can be capitalized against the other team. So I see this game going, I think, going really as a high-scoring game. I am going to give this to TCU, and I think it's going to be clearly for the fact they are playing at home in Fort Worth. So I'm going to give this TCU. I'm going to say 30-24. I say that, a touchdown or a couple of field goals is what wins it for TCU. But I see a lot of good things coming out of this for Colorado, and there's nothing wrong with failure. If Coach Sanders can win 2 games, he's already beaten the record for last year. So, if things need to be tweaked, that's great. You have a long season, and it's gonna be a great college football season, especially for these 2 teams. I see a lot of great things coming from both of them. So I'm gonna give it to TCU on Saturday afternoon, 30-24 against Colorado. Thank you so very much. Enjoy the game. It's going to be a great college football season.